All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is, we talked about compounding interest, and if you remember, we said that in order for compounding interest to work for us, it needs to be uninterrupted and continuous. And as powerful as it is even then when it's uninterrupted and continuous, and remember, we're not going to throw this out. We want to use compounding, but we want to use it the only way that it works. But there is something more powerful than compounding. It's actually known as the velocity of money. Some have called it the motion or the movement of money. And in nature, everything is moving constantly. You may look at a rock and think it's a rock, but the reality is the molecules, the atoms, the neutrons, protons, all of this stuff is vibrating constantly. It never ceases moving. It's always in movement. Water is of no value to you unless it's moving. Your blood won't do you much good if it's not pumping through your veins. Everything in life needs to be moving continuously. And you know, our winds are moving, the waters in the world are moving, the earth is constantly revolving. Movement is a part of nature. It's a part of the laws that are at work. We want to do the same thing with our money. So I want to show you the difference in the power in the velocity or the motion of money. So I'm going to give you a graphic picture again, and it's in your booklet. But we're going to say that this hardware store owner hears about compounding interest in this 8th wonder of the world, and he decides he's going to take a can of paint and he's just going to let it sit on the shelf and increase the price of it every year by 10% for 11 years. So he's going to compound the price of the can of paint so that it will be worth more in 11 years than it was on the first day. It was worth $6 on the first day. Compounding over 11 years, it's worth $18. That means he's made $12 just simply by letting the paint sit and get compounding interest. Okay? But I just said that there was something more powerful than compounding, known as the velocity or the motion of money. So let's look at that. Now, if the owner had decided to take the can of paint, take the profit, and turn it 10 times. So he'd take the can, he'd sell it for $8, pays $6, sells it for $8, makes $2, and as soon as he gets his money, he goes back with the $6 and buys another can of paint. He does this 10 times a year, and in so doing, he actually makes $20 in that year by moving the money and keeping it in motion, keeping it flowing instead of just sitting. Well, let's compare that to our others. Over 11 years, that means he generates $220, or he actually creates a difference of $208. So the motion of money was almost 20 times more powerful in creating money than compounding interest. We already know compounding interest is powerful, but this concept, this financial truth, is even more powerful than the compounding is.